Welcome back to ZOTS. I'm so glad you joined me for another video. Today is a really quick video and it's Things for Men again, and it's how to wrap a Christmas present. I am a man, you're a man, we're not made to wrap Christmas presents, but we have to do it sometimes for the people we love so that we can surprise them and so that we can show we care. And so I did a lot of studying and research on how to wrap a present because I was horrible at it, and I still am, but I'm gonna give you some pointers to make it look really good, at least decent. So here we go. Let's get to it. So let's get right into this. These are some tools you're gonna need to do your wrapping as a man. This is double-sided Scotch tape, awesome stuff. And this is a little dispenser that you can get. It makes it super easy just to get it out so you don't have to like tear it and rip it. Keeps it really nice and clean. You can even pull it across the box, and you can get replacements really cheap on Amazon, and just really simple to pop them in there, run the tape through, and you're good to go. And it has a little cutter. Just really great tool. I love it. It makes things a lot easier. I'm all about making things easier when I'm doing things I really don't like doing. So I hope this helps you guys out. This is another thing I found called ZOTS, the little sticky dots, and this is an awesome tool to help you cut paper. Super easy, get straight lines, and even like help you with creases and stuff like that. All of this can be found right below the description. Always, you can find all my links there to get to these things so you can get the ones you need. I also found this awesome paper. It's called Nashville paper. It's really heavy wrapping paper. It was a huge roll, and it's double-sided, so I could flip it back and forth to get some different styles. I also have bought paper from the Container Store, as well as TJ Maxx and Marshalls usually have really heavy paper, where Target and Walmart have really thin paper that it makes it really hard to wrap. So as you can see here, I'm just making sure the paper is going to go all around the box and leave me a little extra room, and then I'm just going to double check it, and then I'm going to get right into cutting that paper so that I can start wrapping it. You just always want to make sure that so you don't waste paper, and so you're not frustrated, that you have enough paper to go around all sides. Always on the sides of the box, make sure it goes to the half of the box, and then and make sure it covers the whole long side of the box, like right here. Then a little trick I learned, this is going to help you and make your packages look amazing. Pull one side all the way to the edge, and then just let it drop and put the other side up. That way when you go back and put that edge on, it's going to look really nice and clean, and almost seamless, so you don't have that seam in the middle, or just kind of randomly placed. Put the double-sided tape on where you're gonna, right on the edge where you're gonna stick it. You can mark it with your thumb or visually if it has stickers or something like this box has. And then just start in the middle and press out from left to right. It'll just be nice and tight. You want to make sure it's tight against that box. See how I'm pushing a little bit? Just want to make sure it's nice and tight. And then pull it all the way to the edge just to check it again. And then pop your double-sided tape back on there. This dispenser is awesome. I love it. Super quick time saver, and just makes things so much easier. You don't have like tape everywhere. And I always have the hardest time like ripping tape on those little plastic ones. So you just want to I always put a double-sided tape on each side, the right and the left, and then in the middle. And then I pull it up tight, and then I stick it down the middle, and then swipe out left to right. Keeps it nice and clean, no wrinkles or anything like that. Then you want to start with your sides. I always pull it off to the edge of a corner of a table or counter. It just lets the paper have more room to flex, and so it doesn't get all bunchy and wrinkly and stuff. So, and then I make sure that I just double check that I'm going to be, halfway down the side of the box, and then I get my tape. And you can just set your tape aside if you need to. Just make sure everything's good. And I always tape the middle first, and then I work out to the sides and crease those sides out. That way you can just kind of make sure everything's good to go. There's no wrinkles. Just get nice creases on that so you can start forming your wrap. And then I always put some on the left and the right just to hold those wrinkles, because you're going to be moving the paper around a lot, especially if you don't have heavy wrapping paper, like thick wrapping paper. It's super thin. It's going to bunch really easy. And that's why I just find it easier as a guy to wrap presents with a heavier paper. And so this year, because of all the craziness, I couldn't go in a lot of stores and search for everything. And a lot of stores were out of stuff and just didn't have a lot of selection. So I found this place online. I'll put a link down in the description below. Super great company, huge roll. Little pricey, but worth it because the roll is just so big. And I wrapped a ton of gifts and I still have paper left over, which is, hard to find. Like, usually pay quite a bit for just like 1 or 2 packages. And then I put a little tape on each side, the double side tape. And then as you can see, I just pull it over tight. Make sure, and just being off that edge just gives you that little bit of flex, and you can pull it back and lay the bottom down flat. And then just double secure, make sure it's really secure so there's nothing popping out. And with the double side tape too, you don't want it sticking out, because then when people touch it, it will feel it. So you want that double side tape always under the wrapping paper. And then here I'm doing the same thing, just making sure it's all nice and tight. And get those creases really tight, and then put some more double-sided tape down on the flap. Oh yeah, see there, I've got a little bulge there, so I'm just tightening that up. Make sure it's nice and tight and flat. You don't want anything popping out or loose looking or anything like that, so just make sure it's nice and tight. That's where those ZOTS are really great. And so I just put some double-sided tape down on the corner and then on the sides, just to make sure it's all tight. And then I'm going to use the ZOT on the very end of that triangle just to seal that top part up right there. It's just basically like a little stickiness, and then you can just grab it on the end and pull it nice and tight all the way up, and just make sure everything is nice and tight and sealed. And voila, you have a seamless wrapped gift. Now for this end, once I get one end done, I like to set it up and do the other end standing up. It's just easier. You can see it from top to bottom, and then I just do the same thing just standing up. I just really hate, I've never been good at wrapping paper when I can't pull it off the edge or stand it up where it can flex a little bit, because it gets all wrinkly and crazy. Same thing, tape it in the middle, work out left and right to get those creases, then tape the left and right down, and then put some tape on the sides of your wings, so that when you pull it tight, it's going to stick nice and tight to all that double-sided tape. It's just all working together to make sure it all holds. One year I wrapped gifts and I didn't know about all this stuff, and I'm a guy, so I just like trying to wrap some stuff. And by the time Christmas came around, the presents had almost unwrapped themselves because the tape didn't stick, and I didn't put enough tape, and it was loose, and traveling, I had to drive somewhere, so you're moving around and shaking. It was so embarrassing. It looked so horrible. And so I decided that I was going to learn how to do this. And so I thought maybe some of you guys don't know how to do it, and watching me might help you, because it's really not that hard if you have some simple tools: the cutter, the tape, the dots, a good paper, and then just the technique, like to pull it out all the way to that end, just pulling it to that edge on the outside paper, getting that seamless look, and then making sure that I match the half of the box always, so that I could do a nice closed end. And you can see here, I didn't get it tight enough, so I slowly pulled it away from that double-sided tape. I'm gonna put some more tape in because it's bunching, and I just want it to be nice and tight. So pull it nice and tight, just like that, and make sure it's all the way down. Yep. You can always work the bottom. You just want to make sure those seams are still tight. So I'm going to add in some more tape here. Just really seal it down. I want it stuck tight. If you don't stick it tight on the bottom, it's kind of like building a house or something, like laying a foundation, and you only stick it tight on the top, then it all just kind of bulges and flexes and gets air behind it and stuff, and it just looks awful and can come apart. And then I'm just doing the same thing, put more tape down, just reinforce it. I'm going to use another ZOTS, which is a little dot of stickiness. You just peel it off of this paper. You can see me doing it here. Just kind of pull it off. Love these things. I've used these a lot, especially for like anything that like weird name tags or anything like that you need to do. They just come really in handy, and they're pretty cheap. I think it's like $3 or $4 a box. Then just again, seal that up nice and tight. Having an edge there, you can really kind of pull it off and just really work it. Make sure it's nice and sealed and tight. And then you are good to go. Then, of course, you want to find name tags that match. You don't want to pick a blue name tag or a black name tag if you're doing a pretty red and white. Or if you're doing blue, find blue. Don't put a red name tag on a blue. I'm just going to go through this again one more time because I know that was really fast and sometimes it's hard to see when you've never done this before. So right now, I'm just going to lay my box down and roll it in the paper to make sure I have enough paper to go around it. And if you have too much paper on the ends, just measure it. Like you need to do half of the box. So half the side of the box. So just pull it over to the edge and measure that, and then cut off the excess so that you can neatly tie in your ends. See how I'm gonna check the edge here because it's too much for this one. So I'm just gonna go half, and then I'm gonna go over and I'm gonna measure the half on the other side and cut that excess off. And that way, it's when I get it wrapped and I want to go do my ends, I don't have extra. If you have too much on the ends, it's gonna be really difficult. It's really hard. You have to like cut and squeeze and push things. I've done that before. Try to fold things, try to use scissors. It just looks awful. So just really easy, quick. Measure the paper to half the side of the box. Make sure the other side is about the same. Kind of eyeball it, and then start your process of rolling the paper around the package. And as you can see, I'm going to pull it nice and tight to that seam, almost to that edge. And then I'm going to lay my tape down. I'm going to check it and then lay my tape down. That's going to give it a nice seamless look. So there's not like a big seam down the middle of the package. I'm a guy, so I don't know about ribbons and bows and all that stuff. So I used to bring my packages with all these seams everywhere. And so when I learned this technique, it's just really simple, awesome. And it makes it really easy for the ends too. It makes it easier for the ends and just makes the package look better. And it's a super easy technique. Same thing again. We're going to tape the middle, then work out right to left and get those creases nice. And we're going to lay tape on the right and the left just to keep it from bunching and moving as we're pulling on those wings, the sides, to fold them in. We don't want the middle layer to bunch and give us trouble. Again, I pull it off to the side of a counter, a table, an ottoman, whatever you can use. Just gives you some flexibility with the paper, because if it's on a hard surface, sometimes when you're trying to pull that over, it's just like all over the place. It just makes it easier. Just trust me on that. And then I'm going to do the other side, and then once I get that nice and tight and buttoned down, I'm going to again lay some of that double-sided tape on the final flap. And if it's more square like this, like the other one was more pointed, if it comes out more square like this in the end, you don't really need the ZOTS, the little sticky dots. You can just use the double tape across it. If it's pointy, it's kind of tricky to get that double tape up to that point, and so that's why I use the dots to just seal that top part up so it doesn't peel off. Make sure it's nice and tight. You can see, and then I'm going to again pick it up on its side, top to bottom, and it's just easier to work with this way. Tape that middle, work out left to right, and get your wings all nice and creased and ready to fold. And then put your tape on the right and the left. Be sure and let me know in the comments below if this really helped you. If you have any questions, I always hated wrapping wrapping gifts. I still do. For years I didn't know there was heavy wrapping paper, so I always bought this cheap stuff at Target that looked good but was very hard to use. It's just, it's really just about like figuring out 2 or 3 techniques, and then you can wrap every gift just boom, boom, boom. And it's not gonna be all beautiful like girls do it, but at least it's something, because there's some gifts you just have to wrap that you want to keep as a surprise. So that's how it goes. And this year, I thought about, everyone's going like gray and blue and more muted tones, but after this crazy year in 2020, I just wanted to do something red, something Christmassy, something bold, just make a statement all the way around. Sometimes you just need some cheer. As you can see, I'm doing that double-sided tape again on the right and the left, and then I'm going to do it across the top of that square part, because I don't need the dots for that. And then I'm just going to pull it really nice and tight, and then lay that down and just make sure it's all sealed up nice and tight and stuck. Looks really good. You can see that you don't see any seams really, which is really cool. It looks very seamless. And voila, it's good to go. You can add some little stickers, add your name tags. Thank you guys for watching. I hope that helped you. I know it's a really quick video, but it's the simple things, and being prepared with the stuff you need, like the double-sided tape and the little dots and the right paper and cutter and the weight, and then just knowing how to like align it and test it out on the sides. All that stuff really helps. Comment below if this helped you. Give it a thumbs up if you like it, and subscribe if you're not a subscriber. It's free to do so. Cancel at any time. We'd love to have you part of the ZOTS family. We're almost to 4,000, so excited about that. Love you guys, and Merry Christmas. I hope you have a wonderful Christmas. I hope your presents look amazing and they fill your loved ones and friends with joy. Merry Christmas and Happy New Year from all of us at ZOTS. Peace. As they walk